7 blouse mistakes women over 60 should stop making now. Here's something no one tells you. The reason some women over 60 look effortlessly radiant while others look tired, boxy, or stuck in another decade has almost nothing to do with their face, their weight, or their age. It comes down to one piece of clothing hanging in nearly every closet in America: the blouse. Right now, there's a good chance you own at least 3 that are quietly making you look older every time you put them on. Today, I'm giving you all 7 mistakes in order, ending with the one stylists get asked about more than any other, the one almost every woman over 60 is guilty of without realizing it. Let's get into it. Before we go through the list, it helps to understand why a simple blouse carries so much weight in the first place. Unlike a jacket or a pair of shoes, the blouse sits closest to your face. It's the first thing people see when you walk into a room, and it's still the thing they're looking at when you're mid-conversation laughing or leaning in to listen. Stylists sometimes call it the frame of the face because a flattering blouse quietly lifts everything above it: your eyes, your smile, your whole expression, while an unflattering one drags all of that down without you ever realizing why. Kindly subscribe to Radiant Women Official. Mistake number 1. Wearing patterns that are simply too loud for your face. A busy, colorful blouse feels fun on the hanger. It feels like personality. But the moment you put it on, something strange happens. Instead of people noticing you, they notice the blouse. 10 clashing colors, oversized florals, chaotic prints, they all fight for attention, and your eyes, your smile, and your skin lose that battle every single time. Designers call this visual noise, and the human eye genuinely does not know where to look when there's too much of it competing at once. That's why a loud blouse can leave you looking tired, even on a day you feel absolutely wonderful. Have you ever put on a floral print with 10 different colors and caught yourself wondering why your skin looked so dull that day? It usually isn't your skin at all. It's the pattern pulling every ounce of attention toward itself. The fix is simple. Choose 2 or 3 coordinated colors instead of 10. Choose smaller, softer prints instead of oversized ones, since large prints overwhelm smaller frames while a modest scale flatters almost everyone. Pay attention to placement too, since evenly spaced patterns read as elegant while random splashy ones can distort your shape. And follow one golden rule. If your blouse is loud, let everything else go quiet. Neutral bottoms, simple shoes, minimal jewelry. A blouse should frame you. It should never compete with you for attention. Mistake number 2 is one almost nobody thinks about until they see an unflattering photo of themselves wearing the wrong length for your proportions. A blouse that runs too long can shorten your legs and make your whole frame look smaller and heavier than it actually is. A blouse that's too short can cut your torso in the wrong place and turn your midsection into the focal point of the entire outfit. Neither one of these is about your body being wrong. It's about the garment fighting your shape instead of working with it. As we move through our 60s, our posture and our waistline shift, so a length that flattered you at 40 may not flatter you the same way now, and that's not a flaw. That's simply the fabric no longer matching the woman wearing it. The fix that stylists swear by is landing your blouse right around the hip bone, which elongates the torso without swallowing your shape. If you love a longer tunic style, pair it with slim fitted pants for contrast instead of letting it hang loose over equally loose bottoms. And learn the half tuck, one of the fastest style upgrades that exists. Tucking just the front panel into your waistband instantly creates a defined waist while the back still flows freely behind you. It takes 10 seconds and it changes your entire silhouette in a single motion. Now here's mistake number 3, and this is the one that makes even expensive blouses look cheap in photographs. Clingy fabric. Thin polyester and low-quality jersey don't drape, they grip. They cling to every curve, every crease, every bit of movement, and no amount of tailoring fixes that, because the problem was never the cut. It's the material itself working against you from the moment you put it on. You can spot it instantly with what stylists call the drape test. Hold the fabric up in your hands and let it fall naturally. If it collapses like plastic wrap, it's going to cling on your body exactly the same way. If it falls in a soft, gentle wave, it's going to flatter you the moment you put it on. Look for silk and satin blends for elegant, quiet luxury, crepe fabric for something that skims rather than sticks, and cotton or linen blends for a breathable option that still holds its own shape throughout the day. Read the fabric label before you buy, not just the price tag. If it says 100% polyester, there's a good chance it's going to work against you no matter how beautiful the print looks under store lighting. Mistake number 4 is quietly aging women who don't even realize their closet is doing it to them. Holding on to outdated details. Shoulder pads whisper the 1980s. Heavy ruffles and bows whisper the 90s. Shiny plastic buttons and oversized cuffs whisper decades that have long since passed us by. None of this means the blouse itself is a bad piece. It just means small design details are sending signals you never intended to send to the room. The good news is you rarely need to throw the blouse away entirely. Remove bulky shoulder pads and the whole piece instantly feels current again, sometimes in under a minute with a seam ripper. Swap plastic buttons for pearl, horn, or brushed metal ones for an easy, nearly free upgrade that changes the entire feel of the garment. And if a blouse has heavy ruffles or bows built in, let your bottoms stay sleek and tailored to balance the eye out. Fashion research consistently links simplicity with looking modern and current, so when in doubt, always edit toward cleaner lines rather than more decoration. Less fuss almost always reads as more current, and more current almost always reads as more youthful, no matter what year is printed on the tag. Before we move to mistake number 5, quick pause, because this next one might be the single biggest style decision you make every morning without even thinking about it. And it's one almost nobody gets right after 60. Mistake number 5, choosing the wrong neckline. Your neckline sits closer to your face than any other part of your outfit, which means it either lifts your entire look or quietly drags it down, and there's very little middle ground. High necklines like turtlenecks and mock necks can shorten the neck and create the illusion of sloping shoulders, which reads as heavier and more closed off than you actually are. Extremely plunging necklines swing too far the other way, pulling focus away from the face entirely and into territory most of us aren't trying to highlight. Both extremes miss the real goal, which is elongating and framing the face, not competing with it. The most universally flattering options after 60 are the V-neck, which draws the eye upward and creates a slimming vertical line toward your face, the boat neck, which softly widens the shoulders and highlights the collarbone in an elegant, timeless way, and a slightly open collar, which frames the face without ever looking stiff or overly formal. Here's a trick you can do right now, today, in your own bedroom. Stand in front of a mirror and notice where your eye goes first. If it lifts towards your face, that neckline is working for you. If it cuts you off or drags your gaze downward, it's time to let that particular blouse go, no matter how long you've owned it. Mistake number 6 might be the most underestimated of them all, and it has nothing to do with fit or fabric. Wearing colors that no longer match your changing complexion. As we age, our hair often shifts towards silver, gray, or a much lighter tone, and our natural skin pigment softens right along with it. That means the colors that lit up your face beautifully at 30 may now be quietly draining it without you ever making the connection. If people keep asking whether you're tired even on days you feel absolutely wonderful, the blouse in the mirror is very often the real culprit, not your energy or your sleep. The colors that consistently flatter women over 60 include soft ivory, warm beige, and light gray, which lift the face far more gently than a stark white or a flat, heavy black. Rich jewel tones like emerald, sapphire, deep teal, and burgundy bring genuine warmth and life to the skin, especially alongside silver or gray hair. Soft pastels like blush, lavender, and sky blue add brightness without ever overwhelming a softer complexion. And one simple test works every single time you shop. Hold the blouse just under your chin in natural daylight, not store lighting. If your eyes look brighter and your skin looks clearer, that color is working with you. If your face looks flat, tired, or washed out, put it back on the rack no matter how much you love the style hanging on it. And now, mistake number 7, the one that affects more women over 60 than every other mistake on this list combined, and the one I promised you at the very beginning. Wearing blouses that are oversized and shapeless. It's completely understandable why this happens to so many of us. Loose clothing feels safe. It feels forgiving. It feels like it's quietly hiding the parts of your body you're least confident about on any given day. But here is the truth. Almost nobody says out loud. An oversized blouse doesn't actually hide your shape. It erases it entirely. And in doing so, it makes your frame look wider, your posture look heavier, and your whole presence look years older than you actually are. Picture a beautifully sculpted piece of art draped in a heavy, shapeless sheet from head to toe. You lose every curve, every line, every bit of what made it beautiful in the first place, and that is exactly what a boxy, oversized blouse does to you the moment you put it on. This is not an argument for anything tight, restrictive, or uncomfortable. The real goal here is balance. A blouse that skims your body instead of swallowing it whole. Look for gentle tailoring like darts, seams, or a soft wrap effect that gives the waist quiet definition without ever clinging to it. If you genuinely love a relaxed, flowing fit, pair it with fitted bottoms to restore shape and balance to your overall silhouette. And remember the half tuck we talked about earlier, because it works beautifully here too, instantly carving out a waistline even in the loosest blouse in your closet. Your body doesn't need to look like it did 30 years ago to look absolutely stunning today. It simply needs clothing that works with the shape you actually have right now instead of hiding from it in fabric that does you no favors at all. Now that you know all 7 mistakes, let's talk for a moment about how to actually shop so you stop repeating them. Because knowing what to avoid is only half the equation, and most women over 60 end up right back in the same trap simply because nobody ever taught them a smarter way to shop in the first place. Start by thinking about your real lifestyle before you ever walk into a store or open an app. Do you need polished blouses for lunches and community events, comfortable ones for travel, or versatile pieces that move easily from casual mornings to dressier evenings? Knowing the answer before you shop keeps beautiful blouses from sitting untouched in your closet for years. Always prioritize fit over trend, since a perfectly tailored blouse in a timeless cut will outlast a trendy one by a decade, and never underestimate a good tailor. A small adjustment to the sleeve or the waist can turn an ordinary blouse into your new favorite piece. Shop with your best colors already in mind based on everything we just covered, so you're not tempted by racks full of shades that quietly work against your complexion. And finally, use what stylists call the 3-outfit rule. Before you buy a single blouse, picture it working inside at least 3 outfits you already own. If you can't picture that instantly, it's probably going to sit unworn no matter how much you loved it in the store. This one habit alone will save you more money, more closet space, and more frustrated mornings than almost anything else on this list. So there you have all 7 mistakes, and by now you've probably realized you're guilty of at least 2 or 3 of them yourself, and that is completely normal. Almost every woman is, myself included. But here is the one thing I want you to remember above absolutely everything else in this video. Elegance after 60 was never about hiding. It was never about disappearing into safe, shapeless clothing and quietly hoping no one really looks at you. It's about choosing pieces that finally work with the woman you are today instead of the woman you used to dress for decades ago in a completely different chapter of your life. You've earned every year, every laugh line, every bit of hard-won wisdom on your face, and your wardrobe should be celebrating all of that, not covering it up in fabric that was never made with you in mind. The next time you reach into your closet, don't just ask whether a blouse fits. Ask whether it flatters. Ask whether it lifts your face. Ask whether it makes you feel like the most vibrant, most confident version of yourself. That one small shift in the question you ask yourself is enough to change your entire wardrobe from the inside out. If this video helped you see your closet a little differently today, give it a like so more women just like you can find it too. Subscribe to Radiant Women Official and turn on notifications so you never miss the videos that help you dress with real confidence at every stage of life, not just the ones fashion magazines seem to remember. And if there's a friend, a sister, or a mother who needs to hear this today, send it her way right now. She'll thank you for it later. Because in the end, this was never really about the blouse at all. It was always about the woman wearing it, and she deserves to be seen at her absolute best. Stay radiant, and I'll see you in the next video.